This episode of Grilled is sponsored by Rationale, your leading provider in multifunctional hot food preparation equipment. Register now for a free Rationale live demo at www.rationale-online.com.
Before you listen to the madness which is the Barrie brothers, this podcast was recorded using Zoom, so there may be parts where the audio is not as good as we would like. However, Ellis's laugh is in no way distorted. That is all real. Enjoy.
Thanks for listening to Grilled, a podcast by the Staff Canteen. This is our second series, and you can find every episode on SoundCloud or simply search for Grilled where you usually get your podcasts. I'm Cara, editor of the Staff Canteen, and in this episode I'm talking to Ellis and Liam Barrie. Welcome to Grilled.
Bonjour.
So exotic.
Bit of French there. Well, no one's on holiday anymore, so I'll bring in a bit of French.
Thanks.
In the sunshine.
So you may know Ellis from Great British Menu, Ready Steady Cook, and he also owns the Marram Grass and new restaurant Lerpwl. Am I pronouncing that correctly? Lerpwl?
Lerpwl. It depends. You need to put a bit more of a stronger Welsh accent on when you say it.
Okay.
Go on. Go on. Don't be shy.
I can't do accents.
It sounded wonderful, Cara. I'll give you the way.
Thanks, Liam. And also, he owns those with his brother Liam. Let's not make it all about Ellis. So
you know Liam from your local paper, aren't
Is that what you've been doing in lockdown?
I'm dropping off pies, aren't you?
So, Liam, I believe you're the organised one. You keep him right, yeah?
I'll probably the most organised out of the two of us.
Yeah, definitely.
So, before we talk about the new restaurant and everything else, I wanted to find out a little bit more about you both that's away from all of that. So, first one is for you, Ellis. So, all of these chefs have won or got a dish to the Great British Menu banquet. Can you put them in order of who you think is the best chef? Okay, you ready? Here's
Go
your
on.
choices.
Go on.
So we've got Niall Keating,
Yeah.
Sat Baines,
Yeah.
Tom Kerridge,
Yeah.
Michael O'Hare,
Yeah.
and Richard Corrigan. So
Cool.
best, I don't want to say worst.
I love it. I love the
Best
pressure. Ellis going to be under here to kind of rank his mates, or who he wants to impress.
Well, the good thing is, the only one I know there is Richard Corrigan, so he's at the top. You know what? I've never actually eaten any of their restaurants or their food.
None of them.
None of them. I'm one of these chefs who work every single hour of the day, and people go, "Yeah, there." And it's like, when? All these people get to go out and eat. It's like, when do you fit in family time and all this? It's like, you can't take a 3-year-old to Sat Baines, can you? It's like, no.
I mean, you could.
I'll go I'll rank them as in terms of like sort of in my admiration rather than their actual quality. I'd probably put Corrigan at the top, if I'm honest.
Okay.
Then Sat. And then who were the other three? You got Niall Keating, you had Michael O'Hare, and who else?
Tom Kerridge.
Oh, I'd have to say I'm going to have to go Kerridge, O'Hare, and then Keating. Only because I feel like Keating's the youngest, and with that, he's got to do more. He's got to get up there yet.
Okay.
In terms of like, even though he probably smoked them all, but no, I'm literally that was probably more my like who have I got the most chef crushes on in what order.
Yeah. Okay,
That's how
I like
put
that.
it.
That's who you've got pinned up on your wall.
Yeah. Make the starting 11th.
Okay, well done. Liam, what is Ellis's most annoying personality trait?
In fact, when he breathes, I thought he starts me off on the wrong foot. And when he opens his mouth,
when he wakes up in the morning.
I think there's an erraticness with Ellis, a spontaneity, should we say, which takes up an awful lot of my time. I find him opening cans of worms everywhere I look and I don't know how he gets there ahead of me.
I like that. How you breathe, and because you're so spontaneous.
Especially my breathing. I don't have like normal rhythm. I don't just go like in and out. I normally like go.
Yeah, you've got no rhythm at all.
So your breathing is also spontaneous. That's a really interesting quality. Okay, final question for both of you. So you can relegate any Premier League team you want, and Liverpool will win the league and any cup of your choice, or you can get a Michelin star for one of your restaurants.
I'd have to say goodbye to Man United.
It's Arsenal, isn't it?
You're saying you choose that over a Michelin star. You choose to do that.
Yeah, but yeah. Football, innit?
Easy.
Right, yeah. I thought these questions were meant to be hard.
I never said they were hard. I just wanted to get to know you better, and I feel like I am.
Yeah.
So.
No, Premier League, you get Premier League title. It's in our blood, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? You can't. It's complete history.
I don't think I'd get rid of Man United though, if I'm being honest.
No.
I like the rivalry there.
Yeah.
That's the hard. You want them teams up there, don't you, to make it more and more special when you're out at the top of the league.
I still think it's like an Arsenal. Arsenal are just like a nothing team now, aren't they?
Ooh.
I'm just loading the bullets up.
Brilliant. That's going in my clips that I'll make later. Brilliant. Okay, thank you. So, final question actually, as this is a podcast, are there any podcasts that you listen to if you have time to do so, that you would recommend to other people if they've not listened to them previously?
I do listen to it. We've been doing more miles up and down the A55 at the minute between the restaurants. And the two I listened to were In the Weeds, was one done by a kind of local restaurateur in Liverpool. He's part of the Graffiti Spirits.
Okay.
So that's quite good, kind of industry style. And there's another one, which I can't remember what it's called. Master the Scale is like a bit more of a business kind of conversational one where there's a lot of people getting interviewed by Reid Hoffman, who was one of the startups of LinkedIn.
Okay.
And loads of them kind of Silicon Valley things. So it's quite interesting just to kind of hear things outside of food.
Yeah. That sounds like a very adult podcast.
Oh, it does, yeah. I get fed up of being surrounded by chefs, if I'm being completely honest. I need to...
Liam's the most boring person you ever meet. He's completely like... I don't listen to people's podcasts. I really don't.
Right, I need to kind of clear the air. Stop hot airing me.
Go on.
The Sun Lounge podcast is absolutely brilliant. Do you know when it's just like raining and it's terrible? The Sun Lounge podcast is music from around the world, and you just feel like you're on holiday.
Okay.
So it's a good little pick-me-up.
Yeah.
Stop shaking your head, Ellis.
You're terrible.
Let's get back to talking.
Right. And you just don't listen to them, Ellis, which...
No, I will if they're on. I won't put them on, no. Like, say someone's got one on.
Yeah.
Normally Liam in the car, then I'll listen to it. And to be fair, I do enjoy them, but no, there's too much stuff going on in my head to get like, look on the phone and type in somebody's podcast and listen to it. Sod that.
Too much concentration.
Oh, no. Rather than me going after the master of a sinking ship.
That sounds like a great podcast, to be fair.
Yeah. Need a video for that one as well, I think.
Yeah.
Nominations for the Staff Canteen Awards 2020 are now open. Who in hospitality do you think is this year's one to watch? Know a chef who takes so many pictures of their dishes, it's cold before you can taste it? Get them nominated for Social Media Influencer. We have 6 categories all waiting to be won, and the winners are chosen exclusively by you, our audience. Get nominating now. Go to www.thestaffcanteen.com/TSC-awards. Nominations close on October 25th.
Right, let's move on to, I'm going to start with and get it out of the way, coronavirus. So how have the past 6 months been, and how have you adapted, and have you taken any positives from it?
In terms of positives, it's really hard. It's just unreal, isn't it? We've had to really look at the business, see and just protect ourselves, restructure it. In terms of how the management team works, how the management structured across the restaurants, just everything. You know, I think one of the big things which has come through as a business, it's always been there in the background. We've got a kind of great team on Anglesey. The team in Liverpool really come in and just smash it out of the park at the minute. I think one of the things that the whole COVID thing's brought up is the sense of ownership throughout the team. You know, we're two lads who were not millionaires. You know, we've kind of started from the marrow grass. We've built up. We've kind of positioned ourselves and taken on finance and all this stuff to open the second space. And it's the idea that we need the teams with us. We need the teams to have a sense of ownership. We can't carry people in this moment. If the businesses don't make profit, or not even make profit, that's so far away.
Yeah.
If the businesses don't pay for themselves, you know, it's not just our problem. You know, we really need the guys that care to take on that responsibility alongside us. And there's such a closeness in the team, such a strong sense of direction from everyone, that it's been really reassuring to kind of be able to look to who's with us and think, okay, we're not in this alone.
Okay.
That's the only sense of anything which is remotely positive, is just how strong the team is and the ownership about the problem.
I think we've never struggled in terms of ideas to diversify things or swap and change and make decisions. I mean, we killed the marrow grass off. Then we just said, nah, that ain't that's not doable. It's not worked. We just it's not opening. So we just changed it and just done a new business. So we done the Mock and More. We put a massive big pitch tent down, and we changed the menu in a week and set up a new business in a week, and then got into Liverpool to open it. And then with the pork pies, we jumped on the pork pie side, because obviously if you own a pig farm, the pigs still there. They still need feeding, just because it's like, you know, you need to do something with them.
That was one of the big challenges, wasn't it? You've got all this livestock that you need to maintain and
the cost.
Pay feed and all that side of it. And they're just kind of, they're made up. Just chilling out on the farm all day, and it's like, okay, how do we do this?
But and then you know, opening Liverpool, I suppose, you know, it's not the perfect time to open a new restaurant, but what choice do you have?
Yeah.
You know, especially with for us as well, it's like, it's not just a choice of, you know, opening a new restaurant, paying bills and stuff at Liverpool, and you know, what it is with Liverpool is that the marrow grass in that area in Anglesey is very much a 6 month of the year operation, in terms of you lose money from October to April, whether you like it or not. Okay. And whatever money you make from April to October, you put back into that business regardless, to keep your team on. Okay. Now Liverpool, hopefully, touch wood, helps that situation, because we've not got the money from April to July. You know, we've only got the July and August, September from the Mock and More, which we set up in Anglesey. So Liverpool can hopefully, if we get through this and they don't close us down on another lockdown, which they might be doing, we can support both businesses, you know.
But I think that's positive, isn't it? It's just like, how easy is it to open anything in the future?
Well, I mean, obviously, I wanted to talk to you about the new restrictions as well.
Our biggest tables are 6 anyway, and you know, the majority of people who are coming in are families, they are partners and stuff like that.
Quite intimate at the minute, isn't it? There's a lot of
doing it. One table of 6, haven't we? What we can do anyway in the restaurant, really, which I quite like.
And so, what impact does the main thing I wanted to ask you about is what impact does the 10 o'clock curfew has that had on you? Because
it's a nightmare.
Yeah.
I think that's the worst thing that's happened to date. And just, I think the consequence of it is so obvious. I just don't understand who's come up with it. And it's so short-sighted. I remember growing up in Liverpool, and everyone used to get kicked out of the bars and clubs at 2 o'clock. And the after party was the taxi rank, or the kebabs, or the taxi rank, the night buses, because it used to just be bouncing on the way home. Everyone was leathered and trying to get home, and it was just, as soon as it happened, it didn't take a genius to work out that throwing the whole city out at 10 o'clock is just going to put everyone on the street again. So the idea that it was ever a good idea, I can't get my head around. In terms of business sense, it just means we can't get our 2 sittings of an evening. So straight away it wipes out 25% of the turnover. And you just, for what? You know, if you could order up till 10 o'clock, which we were doing anyway, there's a very staggered release of customers out. Even if it was last orders on alcohol at 10 o'clock, just throwing everyone out onto the street at once is lunacy. I don't understand at all.
Yeah, and in that case then, do you think that hospitality is being kind of unfairly targeted?
I don't know. I don't know whether for me it's that sort of. You realise like this, all the students are going back into the cities. All the kids have gone back. You know, so there's more people who are going out to drink, socialise, and it will spike. You know, that's going to then happen in my head. You know, I think it's the same in this country. I always find in the UK that everything's just like it's simplified to cover every single business, isn't it? It's like a restaurant is completely different to a boozer or a bar or you know, somewhere where people are going to go out to get pissed and socialise. It's so different, but it's easier for them just to go. That's the blanket rule across the board because it's easier to manage, isn't it? You go, he's all in, close at 10, done. But I think it is. I mean, you don't know, do you? It feels unfairly targeted, but I mean.
But I think there's a lack of leadership in it in this moment, and you know, there's so much confusion. I think there's always a problem, especially when it starts to highlight people as the problem, you know. And I know students are going to be getting a lot of stick, and youngsters are getting a lot of stick. But it's a consequence of the system that's been put into place, the rules and the restrictions. It creating the kind of fall guys as the people who've been invited into the cities and then meant to go out and drink, and then all of a sudden get kicked out and all put in a square together. Yeah, they are the guys who are going to spread it, because that's
some of the pictures I've seen of people coming out of bars and stuff.
Liverpool, there's loads. York, Manchester, London. I saw videos from Soho. It's absolutely everywhere. At 10 o'clock, you just got this mass exodus of people who are pissed. I think it's an easy way for the government to put blame on youngsters who are going out and enjoying themselves.
So, in your opinion then, what changes need to be made to this kind of blanket rule to help hospitality survive? Because ultimately that's what it is. When I talk to chefs, it's survival at the minute, isn't it? And that's very much what it feels like. So in an ideal world, what restrictions could and can't you kind of work with if you had control of it? If you were, you know, they got a panel of people from hospitality to say, what do you think would be the best changes?
For when we're Prime Minister, that's
yes. Oh my God, I love it if you two were in charge.
The Republic of Liverpool again. The new Nike advert.
It's hard to simplify it, isn't it? You know, and it's hard to take responsibility across the board. Different hospitality sectors have got different needs and wants. You know, where that's a simple thing, you know, but kind of having a staggered approach to releasing people into space. It's just like it's not obvious.
Sorry, it sounds like you're talking about animals.
But that's what they're doing. And they're shepherding everyone out into the little squares. And then they're opening the gates for us to go home, and then they're throwing a virus in there and seeing how many people get it, and then blaming the sheep for being in the pen. It's just like, come on. Well, different places are doing different things, aren't they? Even across the UK. And then you look at Barcelona.
What would you do, Liam? We're asking you. Me and Carl are asking you. Okay. What would you do?
I would. If the problem's alcohol, let's do that. We can kind of take out alcohol, but then as a restaurateur, that's a different thing to if you're a pub. So I'm trying to be diplomatic here, Ellis.
Different things need different rules, don't they? A restaurant needs different rules to a pub, and a pub needs different rules to. And I think one of my biggest issues is that we've all been left to come up with our own rules in terms of right up until this point. Now they said everyone wear a face mask, but if they just said at the start of this, right, you're all going to open up. You've got to be spaced out. You've all got to wear your face masks. You've all got to follow this one. Every single hospitality business has to follow these guidelines from the get-go, but they've never put them in place. They never said this is the written rule. And at the minute, like a lot of I've seen on Twitter, people blaming other restaurants, going, well, I've seen that restaurant don't really do much about social distancing, and then that restaurant saying, I've seen them a bit, and saying, well, the government should have just said, right, this is the rules. Mm-hmm. You've got to have so many sanitizers, you've got to wear your face masks, you've got to do this. You spread your tables. This is how many bookings you're allowed in at this amount of time. This is that, and set it in. But they just didn't. They didn't want to, because they didn't want the responsibility of it, and they didn't want to take the backlash of it. But they should have done, in my opinion, and I reckon that would have bloody helped. Because there is a load of businesses who are like, well, what do you do? Do you take everyone in at once and hope that you're going to make a couple of quid because tomorrow might be on another lockdown? Or everyone's been thinking differently, haven't they?
Yeah.
They needed to set a standard out, and they shit themselves and didn't. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, they probably didn't shit themselves. It's probably all completely purposeful.
I think the big problem at the minute is the support, isn't it? There's a big contradiction. Last month we were encouraged to get the economy going again and switch on and bring people out of the houses and lead the way in it to a certain extent. And then this month it's back to the message of stay clear of hospitality if you don't have to go out, So, and I think it's still an individual problem, whether you're a pub, a cinema, a gym, a restaurant, wherever you're at in tourism leisure, then we're being asked to bring in these curfews and restrictions, but the effect of them isn't being addressed yet. And that's the big problem in it. It's forcing businesses to fight for every penny they can get, which is then if everyone's kicking out at 10 o'clock because everyone's holding on till 10 o'clock to get that last couple of quid, then these businesses need it to survive. And that's the big crunch at the minute. There's a lack of support out there.
Yeah. No, definitely. It's and I never know what I'm going to wake up to every day. Like, what's the change going to be today?
The restrictions that bombed in last night or the night before about no dancing or singing. It's just like, and it's
that's the worst. I love all that, mate. Like,
it's the responsibility of the venue now to ensure that guests don't dance.
Especially if you stood at the pass, you can't dance. When you're plating up.
No, that's now illegal, Ellis. No impromptu singing, I'm afraid.
Ellis's dancing should always be illegal.
On a positive, I mean, you have had to open a restaurant in the middle of a pandemic, which I'm sure if I spoke to you at the beginning of the year, you'd have gone, shut up, Cara, what are you on about? But you have had to do that. But now you are finally open. How has that been? Has it been an enjoyable 2 weeks? Or
it's brilliant. It's like for me, it's like people being open. I didn't even have the fear in me, which I thought, I'm gonna be dead nervous when we open and I'm paying customers in. It just wasn't there.
Yeah, it's strange.
It was like almost like all my scared, like sort of like the fear had been done in the building of the restaurant, and then I don't know whether like the 6 months lockdown and stuff like that. Well, I can't get any worse. So it's just like I've just really enjoyed it. If I'm honest with you,
Okay.
I've not even been stressed out about it or anything. You know, I've had customers coming in, the food's been top, you know, the team have been great, and they've been, you know, really smashing out the park. And I've just really been enjoying it, yeah. And I'm quite made up about that because of it. It hasn't been stressful at all.
Yeah. Okay. And did you have to change kind of your vision or anything for the new restaurant because of coronavirus? Have you had to make many changes?
Yeah, circumstances changed the routine, really. You know, so one of the challenges we faced was we had to get open, really. Once we chose that we were going to open, we had to get open and bring the team together. There was a kind of the whole team came in at once, pretty much. Whereas we would have liked to bring in the head chef and the restaurant manager we knew and kind of been working with, the second in command, then like the sous chef, the assistant managers, or the senior people. We didn't get a chance to bed them guys into the team and kind of get to know each other, build the trust up and what we're trying to do. It was all very much, okay, everyone's in, you know, commies, everyone, KPs, but pretty much came in across the same 2 or 3 days. So it kind of presented a new set of circumstances which we wouldn't have chosen to do if there weren't this pandemic hanging over us or we were emerging from. It was, you made the most of the situation. So the team are just brilliant. Yeah. Honestly, the ambition in that team, the hunger. I was worried that people would become disengaged and not want to join in once we went into that lockdown. They wouldn't want to join us when we emerged. But they've just been brilliant. They've been really good. Just how they've taken in everything to do with the project. We're moving in like kind of into uncertainty. We don't know what's around the corner. There's all these hangings on about COVID and restrictions, but everyone's just come in, giving it their all, willing to really bend over backwards to take up the momentum and do what it takes.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's been fantastic so far.
You can't ask any more, can you? So
yeah, no, it's incredible.
No. What about what about the food and like the atmosphere and everything? What if people haven't been yet? What can they expect from it? Is it because it's nothing like the Marham Grass, right? So
yeah, no, it's completely different. It's definitely more of like the cooler city cousin. Do you know what I mean? Of the Marham Grass.
Still got a feel of it, don't you think? It's still...
I'd say Liam's Marham Grass and I'm Lerpwl. You know, it's like that sort of, you know, one's fun, bubbly, you know, really good looking, and got like a...
Thanks, mate.
got a hell of an engine behind it, you know. And then
and then what are you?
And the other one lives in a shed. Can you see that bucket behind them? So it's no, it's cool. I mean, you know, we've done a lot of work in terms of sort of we looking back into the history of food in Liverpool and what it meant with the docks, and you know Liverpool being was the busiest port in the world at one point. You know, so you've got a lot of history in that there. You know, a big cauldron of Welsh, Irish, Scottish, Scandinavian influence, like the Norwegian woodyards, and you know, all the Welsh streets and whatnot. You know, so we tapped into a lot of that. You know, even in like the sort of in the design, the surroundings, the atmosphere. You know, Liverpool's got that really bubbly. You know, it's not. You know, it's not white tablecloths, is it? You know, it's bubbly. It's good fun. There's good like atmosphere in there. You know, we have the DJ booth, which we do. We have a DJ on a Friday, Saturday night.
I was going to ask you about that, because again, with these restrictions of no dancing and no
dancing.
How do you keep that vibe?
We got 2 weekends, I think, with the opening weekend and the weekend after with the actual DJ on. It was class, because the kitchen's proper open as well. Like, so it's like full on open. So you know what, you brought up and drilled in this industry that there's no music on during service and stuff like that. I'm telling you, music on, get you going during service, best thing ever.
Yeah.
It almost gives you the beat of the beat of the service. So depending on the tempo at different points, you can really, when you're in the thick of it, you get a bit of like 80s electronic music on the background. You know, you're banging it out to the best of your ability. Do you know what I mean? A bit of Donna Summer. And
this is not what the restaurant's like, by the way, Connor. I've really got to jump in here.
It sounds amazing.
It's not an 80s night.
It's good energy. Liam gets off early, so we change the playlist.
No, it's really there's a really relaxed nature to the restaurant, but then we're keeping the standard right up there. It's relaxed when we skip Ellis's 80s little intros.
I love that Liam has to rein you in, Ellis. It's hilarious.
Yeah. No, well, he tries to, but
I'm glad you find it funny. I find it absolutely exhausting.
You're right. It's relaxing, but it is just like, it's just fun. Do you know what I mean? It's good for the food's top anyway, and the drinks are good, and the service is brilliant. You know, the team is brilliant, but it is that sort of like, when you come into the restaurant, you know, you go to some places where you get like really top food. You go and you feel like you got to whisper, and you know, got to behave. It's a lot more relaxing and a lot more informal than that. You know, so you can just come in. You can go in the bar. You can go straight to the table. But you can be just chilled. You know.
Yeah.
So it's yeah.
No, it sounds right up my street. Once Liam's gone home, I mean.
Yeah, that's good.
But no, it is really good. There's a good pulse in there, a good beat, and it changes as well. Like from your the days of the week change, so you sort of, it's a lot more like on a Saturday's main service. You get that energy and you get that buzz of a Saturday night service, and that people are out to enjoy themselves on a Saturday. You know, you get that clientele in. It's different, isn't it? That they got, you know, they're off on Sunday. You know, it's a lot more. It's a different atmosphere to what it is on like a Wednesday lunchtime or Thursday lunchtime. So it's cool. It's got like different personalities during the week. You know.
Yeah. And has the Marham Grass opened up again yet, or not? Have we not opened that yet?
We're still on the Mock and More side, aren't we?
Yeah, okay. We don't know what to do there, do we? We're battling our heads backwards and forwards to see what the next step is up there in Wales, just to see.
The trouble is Marham Grass can't exist with the COVID restrictions because the space is quite small. Mm-hmm. It just can't be done to the same level. The small space means that there's less customers, so we can't have the same team. So for us, the team up there are a few years ahead of what the Lerpwl team is. You know, they're 2 weeks in, where the Marham Grass guys are kind of 4 or 5 years in. So they've come up with the Mock and More idea with us, and we've put that into place over summer. Now we're going into that winter time, we're heading into there. The Mock and More won't work because of the outside al fresco nature of it. So we're talking to them now, and they're presenting to us kind of their plans for winter and what we want to do. We've got the accommodation up there and how we tie that in. So there's different features up there which we can use. None of them are Marham Grass, you know. They're all going to be different from Marham Grass, but whether it's the taster menus and that kind of fine dining approach, or Mock and More with the casual nature, there'll probably be something new to take us through to October, from October till April, which might be an amalgamation of them things, but it'd have to be a different thing from the Marham Grass because it's got such a core following, and people go to the Marham Grass for one thing. So we're trying to create something new which can kind of just have a little bit of fun in the obscure nature of this winter.
Do you see the Marham Grass ever being able to come back with restrictions? Is that something that until restrictions or there's a vaccination?
We're like that. We're backwards and forwards with the Marham Grass. Liam would like to get rid of it and kill it off. I like the idea of the name and the legacy and what the name means. But it has been like our sort of like, it almost holds a bit of a burden, doesn't it, really, in terms of...
I think for me, it serves a purpose, or it has served its purpose in terms of getting us to this stage. And we always said once we got to Lerpwl, then we'd reimagine what we'd done on Anglesey. The Anglesey operations and the Marham Grass has really carried forwards all the energy and all the pressure to kind of get the second restaurant open, to keep the kind of level and the standards in a certain area with the taster menus, and letting Ellis explore and experiment So
it's always taught us, hasn't it? That's the thing. It's always been like because it's always taught us. It starts off as a breakfast place, gone down like brasserie routes, then into sort of your taste menus and whatnot. It's always meant something to so many different people at different stages. Do you know what I mean? And it's almost with that it comes with its own issues. For us, it carries a bit. For me, it carries a burden of like, what should we do next with it? It's never had that sort of solid. This is what it does. For some customers, they love it from when it was a breakfast place, and it's like, oh, it's changed. It used to be great. It used to be great breakfast there, like. Do you know what I mean? And then you go into the ones who go to fine dining, and you bring back a breakfast and you go, oh, they do breakfasts now again. It's like, I prefer me tasting menus. It's just like, it's just that thing. It's like, is it had its time? Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Has it done its job? Is it, from 19 and 21, we've had that place. It's been like a school and a university, but you've got to leave, haven't you, at some point? We don't know what to do. I mean, the site and that's always there, but even though I know it's only a name, it carries a lot of like.
I'll let you get a tattoo of Madam Grass, Ellis, and you can carry it with you forever. Then.
Where would you get it? Where would you get said tattoo?
I'll put it on my bum. No, I don't know.
Oh, man, you're so obvious.
Everyone's getting them on the necks now, aren't they? It's like, bloody hell.
Alice, I need to talk to you about Ready Steady Cook because I've not spoke to you about that. I've not had a chance to speak to you about that. So, why did you want to do it? Why Ready Steady Cook?
I don't know. It's one of them things, anyway. It was like I always watched it. Everyone, and to be fair, everyone I spoke to, in chef mates wise and stuff like that, was like, yeah, you've got to do that. I spoke to Adam Reed, and he was like, mate, I love cooking from that program.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? He said it's just like he was saying like he used to watch it all the time. And that's like half the reason it got people into it. But I don't know. I just enjoy it. I like the idea of it. Running around for 20 minutes, mad, trying to create a new dish is completely what I do anyway.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah, it's not like it really fits my sort of the way I tend to create food.
Yeah.
And the way I tend to to go at it. So it's and it's just one of them opportunities, isn't it? You don't get many opportunities, and you think, well. The worst thing is, you say no, and you don't get to see whether you enjoy doing it or that side of thing. So, yeah, and the good thing is, I love it. It's a good laugh. It's a great laugh doing it.
I
great
can imagine.
Great production company as well. Who you're doing it with, and great everyone on the team is dead sound. Do you know what I mean? And that's like, it's very rare that where it's like everyone's just like a good laugh, and nice to be around, and good fun, belting fun. We were filming up in Glasgow for a few weeks, so that's where it gets filmed, and it's great up there as well. It's like another Liverpool.
I do like Glasgow actually. I do like Glasgow. It's really good. It is really good. Yeah. So, what would be the worst 3 ingredients that you could get to have to come up with a dish then? If I was to give you 3. What would you be like? Oh God, I have no idea.
3 ingredients.
Or does that not happen in your brain? I don't know. Maybe it doesn't happen. Maybe you can make a dish with anything.
I'll always survive, me. I'll tell you that. I'm a survivor. Yeah, something will come out of somewhere. Although it's hard, by the time, like you say, if you're filming the 3rd episode of the day, and you're onto your 3rd 20 minutes of creating a new dish again, because you might be able to do 3 shows a day.
Oh God, I didn't realise you did. That is pushing it on the creative boundaries,
so by the time the 3rd one, you're like that. You used up all your resources. You're like, whoa, what am I going to do here? You just forget how you're that tired. Just forgotten how to cook.
Looking around at everyone else.
The worst ones. I mean, I've had people have given me slow cooking ingredients. Like a shin of beef and stuff like that. And you're like, the bloody hell am I going to do that in 20 minutes?
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Just having to mince it. Chopping it up with a knife. You get it into mince. Might be a bit tough, that, love. Just say it's nice. You'll get your hamper if you say it's nice.
You're giving away all the show secrets now.
Yeah. But no, when you get those ingredients, which are like your slow cooks, I tell you what the worst ones are is, you know, when the ones because you've only got 20 minutes, the ones you need to put a bit of prep in. So, you know, if they give you like a whole fish or something like that,
right,
and you're like, oh, bloody hell, I hope it's scaled at least. You know what I mean? or, you know, yeah, or like something like lentils, which want 25 minutes, you know, like something which is just like, they're the ingredients. What I love the most is when people just give you like some vegetables and a piece of meat.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you just go, yeah, something's good. That's all getting fried, and then we're going to create a dish at the end of it. And if those vegetables are overcooked, I'm going to turn it into a puree.
Skills.
Yeah. It's like, yeah, it's good.
Well, better than the Great British Menu then, because obviously that's a completely different kettle of fish, isn't it? So.
Yeah, well, Great British Menu's like, it's torture to the soul, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? It's like the fear of the unknown, the fear of having a camera rammed in your face for the first time ever, then the fear of the competition, and then getting asked to do it anyway. There's
so much
nightmare
in that, isn't there?
I always remember the first time doing Great British Menus, going down on the train down to London. I was thinking, bloody hell, I need to find a way of pulling a sickie here. I can't come in, you know. I felt sick in the stomach, you know what I mean? Horrible.
Really?
Oh yeah. In fact, yeah, because it's just like you get asked to do it. That like they rang up and Liam answered the phone, and I just came in the office and he was like, "Oh, by the way, you're doing Great British Menu." I was like, shit, and because he'd said I'd do it, and then then it's the fear of it. You know, you think, oh, I started watching it when I was 14, 15. All them chefs you see on it, and then you're on it. It's horrible. Do you know what I mean? Like that it's good, but in terms of like this, like the fear it gives you, you know, that it just like gets you. Yeah.
Liam, can you cook?
Yeah, I taught Ellis everything he knows. Didn't I?
Yeah, you can say that, couldn't you? Yeah. Can you cook? You can, can't you? You can cookish, can't you?
I can cookish. When I'm stood next to Ellis, the answer's always going to be no, isn't it? You know, I can't do an Ellis, which you'll love hearing, but I can look after myself. You know, I'm not going to go hungry, and I like to think that when we sit down our food at home, it always tastes good. When we first started, we used to do bits, and I always remember like ringing Ellis up. Like, Ellis, how do I do this sea bass? Were you still in Oz then?
I remember when you emailed me in Oz about how to poach an egg.
I nailed them though.
I actually do look at that. People get really pissed off that I don't reply to emails. It's like, well, it's choice, isn't it? Whether you want to reply to someone.
I think it depends if it's got a question mark in it, actually.
Yeah.
I think they're expecting a response.
I'll sort that out later. Or tomorrow. Or next month.
If I ever ask Ellis anything, he just says, ask Liam.
Yeah, message Liam.
I can't even laugh about it, Cara.
Oh, no, you've been really quiet. I was going to say, obviously, it's a family business. How do you find it? Do you get on? Do you see eye to eye? Is it good fun?
Oh, we kill it. We hate each other, really, though. We get on, but like with hate. It's passion.
I like it when I don't see him for a while.
And vice versa.
Everyone loves the brother thing, and everyone's always like, especially when they've got siblings, like, how do you do it? And again, I'll write it in our memoirs one day once we've worked it out.
I was going to say, would you prefer that it's you two though, and like that you do know each other inside out, rather than doing it with someone that you haven't known for this like your whole life?
Yeah. Be well better on my own, no. No, it is. No, it is better. It is good because it's like, you know each other's pissed off points, don't you? And sometimes you go, well, I won't go there today. Other times you think, well, I'm going to get you on this because you pissed me off all week. But the thing you got is like, if you had a business partner or you know a friend or something like that, even with friends, different. So even if you had a friend for like a long term, is different to a brother. I think because there's no boundaries when you're brothers. It's you say what you're going to say. And there's two options: you either get over it or you don't. And you know me, you learn just to get over it and go again the next day, don't you? Because it's actually, now that you've got a couple of businesses on the go, it's harder to wrap it up, isn't it? Yeah, it's like a divorce, and it'd be hard to get divorced now. Long-winded.
Carry on. I've never worked with anyone else, really.
Yeah.
I was 21. I think I'd done...
Liam was always shit at working for people, by the way. Just going to throw that in there now.
This is like you love bringing this in.
Yeah,
I was never shit at working with people.
4 people.
4 people.
4 people.
But yeah, I just never have. You know, it's been like kind of, I think I've done like 3 months, 4 months when I was doing a sandwich year in university, and that was meant to be 12 months, and I just said to my boss, look, I can't handle this, I'm wasting time.
Don't like the way you tell me what to do, you know.
We had a conversation outside. There's we've just like established, every year it changes in how we work with each other. You know, the business is always moving that quick, and it's the first time we've ever worked with each other with having 2 restaurants, and that's only 2 weeks old. So there's always, we've never worked with each other in like one way, I don't think.
Yeah, it is. It's a mad way of working, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it's so in each other's pockets as well at that point, because as soon as you have family time or anything like that, or a wedding, a party, or you're back at, you know, some days you see each other freaking 7 days a week, and then you're back at it again, and generally it's just like, it's bonkers. Whereas like if you have a business partner, it's like you're there 9 to 5 and off you pop again.
Yeah.
And then there's times when you have them family things where you've got to go, even if you think I've seen them all week, I can't be asked going again.
Yeah.
He said to me yesterday, he's like, do you want to come watch the footy? Nah.
I only asked, I know you're going to say no. If there's a danger of you saying yes, I wouldn't ask.
So what is the plan? Is it the next year we're going to be millionaires type scenario, or is it you just...
Fucking hell, I doubt it. Like.
You just love being in hospitality?
I remember being about 13, 14 years of age. I said to me nan, I said, look nan, by the time I'm 21, I'm going to be a millionaire. And I put that back to 30. And I'm 31 next week, so I need to... I'm just going to have to write. I'm going to write it off now.
It's different, isn't it? I think if the world's still spinning next year, I'll take that as success.
Yeah.
Never mind being a millionaire. Disintegrating economy.
Yeah, no.
I think everyone has to sell health insurance or something at the minute, isn't it?
Yeah.
Or a bailiff.
Yeah. But looking past the virus, is hospitality you love being a part of hospitality? And obviously I'm sure you would love to be a millionaire off the back of it, but if not, is that what you enjoy and you see yourself?
There's an absolute joy out of it, yeah. That, you know, I was thinking this, especially with Liverpool, because like when you've got your music on and you've got the open pass, and I can be really sociable with my customers and enjoying my customers finally being in the restaurant without me having to move from the pass and stuff like that. That's like, and when they're enjoying that sort of vision you've got for hospitality, come in, the champagne's on the go, good food, very relaxed, very sociable, and they're enjoying that experience. Like you thought, what was in your head from the 2.5 years ago before starting the designs for the restaurants? There's nothing better, and you never think of money at that point, you know. So that's the truth, innit? Do you know what I mean? I don't think
money, does it? It's obviously
just doesn't. No.
You want to make things work, and things have got to sustain themselves. But yeah, the idea of turning a profit is overrated.
No, it's been brilliant to talk to you both. Ellis, please don't stop singing and dancing. I want you to illegally carry on doing that. That'd be great. Wait till no one's watching.
I love breaking the law.
That's why no one's watching.
It's my hobby.
I know. And Liam, keep reining him in, because it's enjoyable to watch and listen to. So, but good luck with Lerpwl, because that sounds great, and obviously that's the baby. So hopefully I'll talk to you in a few months' time, and that will continue being a brilliant success. But thank you both very much, and I will speak to you soon.
Great.
Nice one.
Thank you.
We hope you enjoyed this interview, and if you have any comments, feel free to tweet us or comment on the post. We're making all of our interviews available to download.
And if you want to support us to continue creating great content with amazing people from the hospitality industry, please take a look at our contribution scheme on www.thestaffcanteen.com.
This episode of Grilled is sponsored by Rationale, your leading provider in multifunctional hot food preparation equipment. Register now for a free Rationale live demo at www.rationale-online.com.